7:42.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The voice of the creative economy.
With Vincent Heeringa.
From Idealog magazine. Good morning there, Vincent.
Good morning, Wammo.
And Idealog magazine is what we are talking about today, because you're very excited about the new issue.
I am. A shameless boast about the new issue. It's an absolute cracking issue. Not just because from a publishing point of view it's full of lovely ads and paying contributors.
Yeah.
Which is a relief after, 2 years of hard yakka to have a big fat issue. And we've had 3 big fat issues in a row, which is deeply satisfying. Actually 4 fat issues in a row. It's even more satisfying. How about that? I just think it's a great issue. It's the best issue we've ever done, I think. I'm just in love with it. Every part of it I'm pleased with. The cover story is the inside running on the Hyperfactory deal. Do you remember Hyperfactory? They recently sold. It's a mobile marketing company started by 2 young Kiwi guys, and they have sold the entire company to an American magazine publisher. Kind of interesting, for a very cool $110 million US. Very nice. Very cool. And so we had our one of our Kiwi-based New York. Is a Kiwi, but he's based in New York. Writers go up and also a photographer go up and spend the day with these guys and really get the inside story about how they did the deal and what happens next. And the good news is they, while they're resident there, they want to come back and invest in Kiwi companies and do it all over again.
Because wasn't Jeff Ross behind that as well?
Yes, he is, yeah. In fact, he's probably made as much out of this deal as he did out of 42 Below.
Yeah. So you can only imagine what he's on to next.
No, exactly. With his bakery, that's the name of his company, the bakery has just got a big dollar per cash, so they'll be out hunting again. Well, and what's so satisfying about this kind of, writing these kind of stories, Wammo, is you're not writing about blimmin' property investors speculating on, on the intangible and completely, nonsense rise in property values and all the white shoe merchants. These are real products made by real people, sold to real businesses, and that's what we want. And we want all that export dollars coming back into New Zealand.
And when a real business is making products that actually get sold and money comes in, they're not likely to go under in a hurry, and they're not likely to be bailed out by the government in a hurry, are they?
True. No, that's very true. Although I do think that Alan Hubbard is not like our Eric Watsons and Mark Hodgins. He actually did invest in real companies. And there's real debate as to whether that bailout was necessary actually, but that's another question.
Okay.
Another thing in that issue of Idealog is we've done a 40-page guide to exporting and covered some very cool companies, like a Christchurch-based company called Canine Natural, which was developed by, it's a dog food company, but he's developed, it's a vet, and he's developed his formula based on studying what wolves ate and still eat in the wild.
Oh, okay.
And is exporting that to the States. So many great stories.
Wow.
A Napier-based company that makes all the cabinets for, often people talk about New Zealand as a test market for kind of OECD countries, and you never know whether that's true. Well, in the case of McDonald's with the McCafe concept, that was true. They rolled that out here in Australia as a test to see if it worked, and it did, and so they then expanded the concept globally. But there's a Napier-based company called Future Products Limited, and they make all the cabinets that go inside the McCafes, and when it went global, they went with them, and now all the McCafe cabinetry is made by this Napier-based company.
Golly, still made here as well?
Actually, the R&D and the custom-made stuff is made in Napier, but they opened a factory in Shanghai to make the most of the ability to get, I suppose, low-cost manufacturing.
And close to the markets as well.
Yeah, exactly. So a big fat issue of Ideal full of great New Zealand innovation and creativity. I love it. It's what I get out of bed in the morning to do.
Very positive. Also something else positive on the marketing side of things as well.
we had the marketing awards this last Thursday at Auckland's Langham Hotel, and it was a really great event. We had 500 or so people turn up for sharing the honours around which was the best marketing campaign and the best marketing team. And the winner was 2Degrees, the mobile phone company with its launch. And what was kind of interesting about that, Wammo, was so much marketing these days is predicated on the idea that you don't have to spend very much because you can do social, you can do Twitter and Facebook, and you can get PR, and here was a launch that was absolutely brilliantly executed, and at the core of it was a very traditional, clever advertising campaign, and surrounded obviously with a whole bunch of stuff like that were very clever with their use of Facebook to get sign-ups and registrations.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it is a great idea and a great talent in Reece Darby. And
it's still ongoing, and it's still amusing with the various new ads that are coming out as well.
Yeah. And so they took out the top prize. It's the Fairfax Media Supreme Award, because the results were absolutely outstanding. They have blown all their targets into the weeds and are growing faster than they expected.
Well, they managed to get me on board.
Did they?
They did.
Well, there you go.
But basically convinced on price. Just they are the cheapest carrier out there at the moment.
Right, okay. Well, pricing still works in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a cheapskate.
It's all part of it, isn't it? But the mix has to be right.
That's right.
But what was kind of interesting to me is that for a traditional media guy like me, it was actually quite heartening to see. I should say I'm not involved with the judging, by the way. We outsource that to independent judges. But heartening to see something as traditional as a great TV campaign being part of the winning formula.
Especially these days. Well, there's a couple of very positive things from you, Vincent. The new Idealog and 2Degrees taking out the marketing awards. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Pleasure, Wammo.
And you can find him blogging as well at idealog.co.nz.